The glass chimed before the words did, crystal against crystal, a careless, celebratory sound. At Christmas, my niece said, smiling a little too wide, I just want to toast to being the only grandchild. No one corrected her. My mother smiled and nodded as if this had always been true. My father lifted his glass without hesitation. My 12-year-old daughter stared down at her plate, jaw tight, tears gathering, but controlled. I didn't shout. I didn't sit back down. I stood. That silence you hear in movies, the kind that drains the oxygen from a room, is real. It sounds like blood rushing in your ears while everyone waits to see if you'll embarrass yourself. I didn't. I embarrassed them. But the truth is, this didn't begin that night. That night was just the receipt. There was a time my family called me dependable, the good son, the one who arrived early and stayed late. I married young, built a life, had a daughter who memorized my footsteps and ran to the door when she heard them. Then came the divorce, not the explosive kind, the quiet kind, the kind where people tell you it's for the best while they quietly choose sides. I didn't notice at first. Betrayal rarely announces itself. It waits, it watches, it lets you trust it. My sister began hosting more holidays. My parents stopped asking about my weekends. Photos appeared online, family dinners my daughter and I hadn't been invited to. Small things, easy things to excuse, until my daughter asked why Grandma stopped calling her. That question lodged in my chest like a blade. The truth revealed itself the way it always does, accidentally. A forwarded email meant for my sister landed in my inbox. Estate planning, legal phrasing, one line that didn't belong. Only surviving grandchild. Surviving, as if my daughter had already been erased. I didn't rage. I didn't confront. I read. I listened. I waited. I learned my ex-wife had quietly painted me as unstable, learned my sister had positioned herself as the reliable caretaker, learned my parents had rewritten our family story because it was easier than admitting they'd failed me. They didn't take my money first, they took my place. So I made a decision. I wouldn't beg. I would document. Revenge doesn't start with shouting. It starts with patience. I gathered emails, texts, calendar invites that excluded my child. I consulted a lawyer, not to attack, but to understand. I updated my will, my guardianship plans, locked my finances so tightly they couldn't even see the hinges. Then I did something quieter. I showed up. School events, community boards, volunteer meetings where my parents' friends smiled politely. I became visible in rooms where the narrative had already been written and corrected it with consistency. I never spoke badly about my family. I didn't need to. The truth is most damaging when delivered without emotion. By December, I knew exactly what Christmas would be: a ceremony, a coronation. My niece's toast wasn't spontaneous, it was rehearsed. So when I stood, I didn't look at her, I looked at my parents. I want to thank everyone for being honest tonight, I said. Confusion flickered, fear followed. I didn't realize we were pretending my daughter doesn't exist. That's on me for missing the memo. My mother opened her mouth, then closed it. I brought something, I continued, placing a folder on the table. Updated legal documents, just so we're clear. My father's hand trembled. I've named guardians for my child, people who see her, protect her, people who won't erase her when it's convenient. My sister shifted. I didn't look at her. And since we're celebrating exclusivity, I added calmly, I've redirected future inheritance discussions away from this room, permanently. The sound of a fork hitting a plate cracked through the silence like a gunshot. My daughter looked up at me. That was the payoff. I didn't wait for applause. I didn't wait for forgiveness. I sat back down and cut my food. No one spoke. Later, my sister would cry. My mother would call. My father would ask how everything went so wrong. I didn't answer, because revenge isn't about destruction. It's about restoration. They learned who took my place that night. It was me, standing up and taking it back. And when my daughter reached for my hand under the table, steady, warm, I understood something they never would. Silence can be a weapon, but dignity is a verdict.